Alright, hey guys, so this is Kyle here. I meant to do a review last night on TNA X Division, but I was just so dog tired last night. Um, couldn't get it done. Anyway, but I'm doing it today. So this is my review of the TNA Destination X pay-per-view. Before I get into that, I have to say one thing. I thought Jeremy Borash did a phenomenal job commentating alongside Mike TNA on the pay-per-view. I think he did a good job. He and Mike TNA have better chemistry together than TNA and Taz, and it was really refreshing to be able to tune in to some passable, decent commentary without having Taz on there and just ruining it and making the commentary just uneventful. So really thought Jeremy Borash did a really good job on commentary during the pay-per-view. Onto the pay-per-view itself. The first match we got into was a four-way with Last Chance X Division match between Mason Andrews, Rubix, which I'm going to call Jigsaw. I don't know why Ring of Honor won't let these guys use their names from Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, unless PWG has like trademark infringement or something like their names. Lars Only, again, they should have just let him use his Pro Wrestling Guerrilla name. And I forgot the other guy. The other guy's name. Really good opening match to kick off the show with the X Division. High flying, stuff from all four guys. Jigsaw, Rubix was amazing. Mason Andrews was also awesome, but it ended up being Mason Andrews at the end of the day, winning that first match to qualify for the Ultimate X later that night. The next match we got after that was Douglas Williams versus Kenny King. This was a phenomenal match. Douglas Williams was probably the best guy to put with Kenny King to show off his in-ring ability, not just his high-flying stuff, his athleticism as well. Excuse me, my voice sounds kind of really dry. Really good match back and forth. Kenny King, obviously the favorite X Division superstar, not only going into this match, but just since Austin Aries last year when he came into TNA through Destination X. Kenny King getting the victory over on Douglas Williams in what I thought was a really solid match. Next match after that was another Ultimate X qualifying match, Sanjay Dutt going up against Rashid, forgot his name. It's funny how that same guy was like a jobber to Ryback like 2 weeks ago, and then that following week he shows up on Impact and then qualify for the X Division pay-per-view. I thought that was just funny as heck. But still, another really good athletic X Division match. Sanjay Dutt getting the win, being the veteran that he is in TNA. Rashid didn't stand a chance. So Sanjay Dutt ended up getting the victory on that. But before that, after the first match though, Mason Andrews was thrown into a match right away after he won the four-way match against Kid Cash. This match was okay, nothing really special. I mean, Kid Cash was beating the holy hell out of Mason Andrews because Mason Andrews was tired from the first match. But Mason Andrews ended up getting the victory over on Kid Cash. So nothing too special with that, but still an okay match, I guess. But after Sanjay Dutt won this match, we got into another qualifying X Division match. We got Flip Casanova against Zema Ion. This match was kind of short compared to the other ones, but still pretty, athletic and good, solid match for the short amount of time it got compared to the other X Division matches prior. Zema Ion getting the victory over on Flip Casanova. Then we got another match between Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle for the Bound for Glory series point match. This match was good. I absolutely liked it. Some people thought it was a little bit disappointed, but I'm not too disappointed with it because I think people expect it to be like, wow, like out of the box. But I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a really good match. The reason why I think a lot of people probably had high expectations, they expected to see something like Joe versus Kurt Angle like they saw back, 3 or 4 years ago. Looking at Kurt Angle out in that ring, Kurt Angle was getting old. He can still go, but he only has very few limited matches that the man can work. I just see it in him. I can't see how he says he can go another 2 to 3 years. Kurt Angle's kind of gaining some weight, which comes with age, and so I kind of despite all those things going into the match with Kurt Angle, I thought he still was able to pull off a really good match. And I just think a lot of people expected the expectation was just set really, really high and expected to be like Joe versus Kurt, back at like Slammiversary, 2 or 3 years ago. So Samoa Joe, once again, a good technical wrestling match. Good technical wrestling match. Samoa Joe ended up getting the victory by making Kurt Angle pass out. So Joe gets 10 points and is the current leaderboard in the Bound for Glory series. The next match we got after that was AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels in a last man standing match. This was a really good last man standing match. There was lots of blood. I thought was this was a fight. This was almost kind of like a street fight. I don't know if I would consider last man standing because they kind of went all over the ring. They went everywhere, but really stayed too much in the ring. So I kind of consider it a street fight with last man standing rules. So this was really good. AJ ended up doing the Styles Clash on Daniels through the table. Sick ending and spot there. AJ Styles gets the victory. And then we get to the Ultimate X match itself, the qualifiers. Zema Ion, Kenny Kingston, Sanjay Dutt, and Mason Andrews to capture the Ultimate X match. This match was good. People in the pay-per-view kind of cooled down just a little bit during this match because they were just like hyped during the entire pay-per-view. So this match was a little bit of a cool-off period, but I thought it was still pretty good. Pretty good match. Zema Ion ended up getting the vacant X Division title as the new X Division champion. I know Kenny King was the favorite. He was my favorite to win it, but I'm actually not disappointed that Zema Ion has won it. Just for the simple fact that Zema Ion, nobody really likes him. He's kind of like a Robbie E, almost kind of like where people just can't stand the guy. He probably doesn't have as much hatred and heat like Robbie E, but he's still people still don't really like him. And I think Zema Ion is a pretty decent heel. I don't mind him winning because I just think that they could just build up Kenny King. Because hands down right now, Kenny King is the hottest X Division star that TNA has acquired since Austin Aries last year. And just have Kenny King chase the heel and have Kenny King, I would actually have Kenny King win the X title at Bound for Glory. It'll just be a much bigger and better payoff for him to, go in as the hottest, new rising X Division star in TNA and have him win the gold at the biggest pay-per-view. That would make better sense to me. So let Zema Ion run with the belt for the next 3 months until Bound for Glory. During that time, Kenny King's going to be the hands favorite, to eventually end up with the X title. So let Kenny King chase him, and get the gold at Bound for Glory, the biggest pay-per-view, which would be a better, bigger payoff, especially for the guy that you want to really win. He wants it at the big pay-per-view. But still a good match. Then we get on to the main event, Austin Aries versus Bobby Roode for the World Heavyweight Championship. This match was good. For Bobby Roode to have a slight height and weight advantage. Austin Aries, man, was keeping up with him. This match was awesome. Bobby, during the end, did some cheap stuff, low blows, hit to the head with the belt. Austin Aries still prevailed. And the crowd was just so into this. This match was hot. The hottest match, emotionally invested in, which I hadn't been emotionally invested in a TNA pay-per-view or match since Bound for Glory last year against Roode and Kurt Angle. And when Roode was supposed to have won but didn't, I got pissed off. And that's when all my emotional investment for TNA just left the door. But it came back. My emotional investment for TNA came back during that Austin Aries Bobby Roode match. The crowd was hot. It was into it. The anticipation, amazing. I thought Bobby Roode was going to win, honestly, and just continue to just keep on rolling. But surprisingly enough, A-Double, the greatest man that ever lived, proved what he said he was going to do over the last few weeks, and that has become the World Heavyweight Champion. Austin Aries is your new TNA Impact World Wrestling Heavyweight Champion of the world. I know that's a mouthful, but wow. And you know what? Considering that belt is like freaking huge, it looks good on Aries, draped around Aries' shoulders. So at the end of the day, I say this was an awesome pay-per-view. This pay-per-view was probably on par, if not even on par. This was better than last year's Destination X. And if TNA keeps it up with the Destination X being the type of pay-per-view that it's been last year and this year, that's going to be the second pay-per-view to buy, and to look forward to every year after Battle for Glory rather than Lockdown. Because Lockdown and Battle for Glory are TNA's best-selling pay-per-views. I think Destination X, if they keep pulling stuff like this every year with Destination X, that might be the pay-per-view, the second pay-per-view that you must buy, have to order, besides Lockdown or Battle for Glory. So, all in all, an awesome pay-per-view. Every match from top to bottom I thought was really good. You got the athleticism and just epicness of the X Division and their in-ring style. You got a good technical match between Kurt and Samoa Joe, and then you also got I thought it was a good last man standing / street fight in AJ Styles and Daniels, and he had an epic main event, wrestling quality, athleticism match with so much emotional investment and an extra cherry on top of Austin Aries winning. So you let me know what you guys thought about the pay-per-view. I thought all the matches were solid and good from top to bottom. The crowd was hot during the entire show. There was not a cool-off period. It kind of dimmered down a little bit during the Ultimate X match, but they were still invested and chanting even in that match. And then the commentary I thought was really well done. It was really refreshing not to have to hear Taz and tune out to him. JB gave a really nice tone to the commentary with Mike Tenay. I think they need to keep him on the table with Mike Tenay. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the pay-per-view. Give me your thoughts. Hit that like button and subscribe. Peace.